Hi, my name is Stephen Mitchell. It's nice to meet you via video. I'm in North Carolina. Hope you're having a great day there in Indiana. I heard that you guys are talking about entrepreneurship, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about some of the entrepreneurial activities that I do on a daily basis. So, what does an entrepreneur mean? It means that I have a job serving customers. And because I have customers, I have a business. And because I have a business, and I'm my own boss, it makes me an entrepreneur. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, first thing you need to know is that once you have your idea, you need to see if you have customers that want that idea. And if they do, then you have a business. And once you have a business, then you can be your own boss, then you can be an entrepreneur. But it's not all that easy. Sometimes it can be very difficult. And it's certainly not as easy as it sounds. But there are a couple things you're going to be learning that I can give you a little insight on as well that might help you understand what it means to be an entrepreneur. So first thing is supply and demand. You don't want to supply things that people aren't demanding. Said differently, you don't want to try to sell people things that they don't want. So always remember, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, sell customers things that they want. Whether it's a product or a service, sell people things that they want. That's supply and demand in a nutshell. You'll learn more about that. Scarcity and abundance. Well, it's very similar to supply and demand. Scarcity is when you don't have a lot of something. Abundance is when you have too much of it. Well, if you've got too much of something, there's probably an opportunity to do something different. If you don't have enough of something, there's probably an opportunity to supply more of it or find ways to use more of it. You're going to learn more about scarcity and abundance. Those are very important topics when you're thinking about entrepreneurship and thinking about what you want to do with your business. One quick example. So you might say for instance, headphones. These are some headphones right here. These headphones have a wire that connects them. You plug them in your device and you can hear things. And they also have a fancy design. I think these are called Beats by Dre. And you can use these to listen to music and it really makes a nice sound. Well, I've got some other headphones in my ears. I usually keep these in because I'm talking to different customers throughout the day or my boss at my other job to try to get things done and try to help serve my customers. Well, at one point, whoever invented these that have no wire, headphones as well, they decided maybe it was an abundance of headphones with wires. So they said, you know what, wires sometimes get in the way. Maybe there's an opportunity to create headphones without wires. And so the people over at Apple Corporation, you guys know what Apple is, right? Many people, let me show you my phone here if you don't know what Apple is. Apple is a company that was started by an entrepreneur. That's an example. That's one of their products. It's called an iPhone. Well, what you should know about that whole scenario is when something's in abundance or there's too much of it, there's always an opportunity to find ways to innovate or do something differently. A lot of entrepreneurs innovate when they notice there's an abundance of something. When there's not enough of something, let's say something is scarce and there's scarcity as it relates to, let's say, water in a different country. Sometimes people have a hard time even getting water, taking showers, washing their hands, being able to cook, being able to drink bottled water. So that's what you call scarcity, where the resources are very, very, very tight and there's a short supply on things. When you go home, you can look in the refrigerator, and if there's no food there, you can tell your parents or whoever you're with to say, wow, this refrigerator looks like it's dealing with a little bit of scarcity right now. Scarcity. Anyway, it's a big word that means that there's not enough of something. So that's always an opportunity as well. So as an entrepreneur, look for opportunities. as it relates to scarcity or as it relates to abundance. If you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking about having your own business, one thing you've got to remember is to always be looking for opportunities. What's some other things you guys are going to talk about? I've got some notes here. It looks like you're also going to be talking about budgeting and profit. Well, I'll tell you about one of my businesses. This is one of my businesses. It's called Hunter Sauces. This is a food sauce. It makes every meal a great meal, and it creates fun experiences at the dinner table. It's Caribbean mustard. You've probably never heard of it because it's mine and it's new, and we're really focusing right now on growing in North Carolina. Well, when you think about budgeting and profiting, you have to think about how much does it cost to make this and how much am I going to sell it to people for? Well, this particular bottle right here, it cost me $2 to make, and I sell it for $8. And believe it or not, people buy it. So that's really quick information about budgeting and profiting. When you have your business, you always have to make sure that you are charging more than what it's costing you to make it. Never forget that. Slogans and advertising. So we have slogans that we use for our sauce business. It's called Hunter Sauces. One of our slogans is, "We got the sauce." It's just a cute way of saying we have very tasty sauce. So that's a slogan for us. Another thing that I mentioned earlier is that we make every meal a great meal. So if you use our sauce, or if your mom or dad uses our sauce when they're in the kitchen, you're guaranteed to have a great meal. That's another slogan, a way to talk about your product and give people an idea of what sort of experience they're going to have if they use your product or service. You don't always have to be an entrepreneur and create a product. Sometimes you can offer a service. Some of my other businesses offer transportation services. So sometimes people need to go and drive around to different locations and they don't want to take their own car, so they need a driver. So I have a business in California that offers personal driving services for people. That's an example of an entrepreneur using a service to serve its customers. Let's see. Logo and product description. So you'll probably hear more about this today too, but look there. That's one of our logos. And look at the name of our sauce. That's Caribbean mustard. It's not just mustard, it's Caribbean mustard. Something you've never tasted before. Doesn't it sound amazing and tasty? Well, we thought of that logo and we thought of the name of that product in order to get people interested. So when you create your logo, ours is a little bearded guy by the name of Hunter, and you create the name of your product, ours is Caribbean mustard, make sure it's something unique and different. That way people will be like, what's that? And they'll want to know more about it. And typically if people want to know more about something, it's probably a good indication that they're interested. And if they're interested, you might be able to sell them your product. Something else you're going to hear about is opportunity costs. Well, there's a certain thing that people talk about as it relates to making decisions, and that's really where the term opportunity cost comes from. You can only do so much. Since I'm deciding to make sauce, that means I'm equally deciding not to do something else. Now, I mentioned earlier I have two businesses. Well, it's not just me. I'm actually more of an entrepreneur that invests in other people to do and make businesses. So I have partners with my sauce business, and I have partners with my transportation business. And because of that, those partners run the business on a day-to-day basis. Because if I ran the business on a day-to-day basis, I'd have to make a decision on whether or not I want to keep my day job or if I wanted to be full-time working on my sauce or my transportation. That's opportunity cost. So if I decide to keep my job, then I can't run my businesses day to day. If I decide to run my businesses day to day, then I can't keep my job. You have to decide what you want to do with your business. You can't do everything. You've got to do a few things. And what I choose to do in order to be entrepreneurial, again, is I choose to invest my time, money when I have it, and advice and strategic thinking towards decision making. And that brings us to a topic that is very important for an entrepreneur, and it's called making choices. You'll learn a lot about that today as well. And essentially, every entrepreneur every day has to make choices. They have to decide what products to make, what color they're going to be, what fonts they're going to use, what the name is going to be. And they've got to try to make it interesting. And it's very difficult because you only have so much time, you only have so much money, and there's scarcity as it relates to certain supplies and certain opportunities. And so making choices is a very critical thing to know in order to be a successful entrepreneur. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm learning every day. The quicker you learn, the quicker you start, maybe you'll be able to teach me something about entrepreneurship. So I hope you have a great time learning. I want to hear more about the products and the services and the businesses you're creating. And I hope you spend a lot of time listening on how to make good choices, because good choices will allow you to find good products or services. Those product or service ideas will be able to attract customers. Once you have customers, now you have a business. And once you have a business, now you can charge people and get a profit. Once you have a profit, you can grow your business. And if you grow it enough and it gets big enough, you can do a lot of other cool things in the world. Everything starts with an idea. Most of the things in our country are or were created by an entrepreneur that got customers, that started a business. So I'm glad you're learning it. I can't wait to see what you're creating, and I want to know what your businesses are. My business is hunterssauces.com. Go check it out. If you like it, go make a purchase, and I think you will. Caribbean mustard is one flavor. We have many more and many other products as well. So again, signing off here. I'm Stephen Mitchell. Have a great day. Thanks for listening.